So today I'm dressed appropriately. And yeah, this is a podcast. And you all that follow us and more that will know what we do. We make sausage. And I think you want to see how the sausage is made. And this is a small example of how the sausage is made. Okay? This is a carriage house in Seaside. I know people think, man, building a home is so hard. It's easy. There's certain steps you have to follow, certain things you have to do. It's a learned process, that's certain. And that's what Gail and I do. This is our third complete structure in Seaside. And in total count, it'll be 5 separate construction processes that we've gone through in Seaside. We've done a few in Old Seagrove. And with the group that we're with, this investor group, they build homes with us and then present them back to the market through our services. Then there are people who come to us because of what we do. They build homes for their families and keep them. And then there's Gail and I, and we build homes, kind of hybrid. We keep some of them. We sell some of them. The investor group and even the client group likes to know that we're right there with them doing the work. I guess they'd say, Richard, you aren't building any homes. How come? You think the market's okay? Well, of course I think the market's okay. And that's why we're building this one in Seaside. And I also have a Substack article that's going up later today. And that Substack article is about the economics of, well, the reality economics of homes and home values in communities where you largely have tear down, rebuild. This is how the sausage is made 101. Guys here with a line truck this morning. So what happens first? Well, the first thing you see is we get these footers in the ground. They're 1 foot by 2 foot. Got some rebar in them. We pour those, smooth them out, and everything's great. Then we put these blocks on top. And inside this block, we've got this wire mesh structure, rebar, I should say, that'll be within the concrete to kind of hold it together. We do the same thing over here, and then we get this slab ready. This is going to be the garage slab. And then we're going to fill this block. The other thing we do is, because we know we got to get ready for certain things, this is the plumbing stack for the house, and this is water in, and this is electric in. All my electric will be inside the garage. My main plumbing stack will come from the downstairs. The water will come into the house, into the garage here. We'll have 2 inline water heaters, electric, to feed this house. And then the electric wire will come in here, and the circuit breaker box will be there. This plumbing stack will then run off in this way to hit the sewer drain to the street. And then my kitchen sink sits about right here, and the dishwasher sits about right here. And then on the other side of this galley kitchen is the range, the refrigerator, and some storage. It's beautiful. Small space, because that's our vision for Seaside. It is going to rebuild. The economics say it's going to rebuild. I'm an economist by trade. Economics always wins. It can get down by a touchdown or two, but at the end of the fourth quarter, it's going to be winning. And we just follow economics, but we also do this artistically. Gail and I have got better and better at this, and we've helped our clients get better and better at this. When I say Gail and I, that means we own it. When I say we, that means it's a broad team we put together. That broad team consists of several architects who do several different things, have different style. One in particular in Seaside that we enjoy, who designed this little cottage for us. His name is Robert Orr, and he's an awesome person, and we've become friends, and I'm so proud to have learned to know him. And so this is, well, through rod, all thread, whatever you want to call it. And that's going to be embedded into the concrete as we get this concrete fill done, and then that'll stick in the concrete here. And then the 2x6 framing bottom plate here of this wall will go right here around this garage and then come into this area. And you do that on exterior walls and corners. So that's cool. If we miss 1 or 2, we'll embed them later, but I think I counted them right. Exterior wall along the back, exterior wall along the south side here in these corners. Then this is all an interior wall, because this is heated and cooled square footage from here forward that's interior to the space. We've got the floor band will come in here. We'll have an exterior wall set up here and an exterior wall set up there, and we'll have a few more of those coming through the wood framing, but some of them have to be embedded in the concrete as we pour the concrete today. I know what they are. I call them PA51s, but these are beam wraps, if you will. We'll have 3 2x12s going in this direction and 3 going in that direction to connect back to this concrete here, or there'll be a ledger board there. And at these outside corners and in various locations, this gets set into the concrete. Those 3 2x6s are here, and then we wrap that steel around those beams and nail it into place so that it has an ability to stay in place when the winds come. So we'll do that here. We have 2 here because we've got a set of beams going this way and a set of beams going that way, and we'll wrap them. Same on this outside corner, but from here to here is outside porch. We only have 1 need to wrap here because we've only got 1 beam coming across on the outside wall of the home. The door's about right here. And then again, we have an outside beam going back to the ledger board over here and a beam across the front. Wrap that down, it's all good. This is number 5 rebar. We'll get this out from underneath the house here before we frame. Clean up underneath. Backfill this a little bit for stability. We'll put sand against these columns from here down to about right here, and we'll have this void swale where we could get under the house in the future if necessary, but certainly to run those pipes out as well and to have access here. I'm not sure what else to tell you except from this point it's been easy. This is the slowest phase of construction from my perspective, getting this foundation in, inspected. There's been 6 inspections so far just to get to this point. After we do this today, we can start framing it, but before I do too much framing, I also get the survey crew to come back out here and make sure that we hit the setbacks as they had prescribed them, which I think we did, and that my first floor elevation is 1 foot above the crown of the road, which is what's required on these particular construction structures in Seaside. Main homes are typically 2 feet above the crown of the road, but not in all cases in Seaside. You can see examples of them starting at 1 foot above the crown of the road and sometimes even less. There's some that sit flat on the ground at the crown of the road for the main home. And Walton County is very generous in Seaside in how you set the homes. And that's just something we've learned by building 3, I shouldn't say this is our 3rd complete lot build, but in addition to that, we've been involved in 3 other client builds. And so over time, with the 6 in total in Seaside that we've been involved with, we, I think, are in the lead of knowing where Seaside's going and how to build homes in Seaside today under the new rules that prevail. We're also very active in Old Seagrove, and we've done a few in watercolor. Hey, but you know what? How many? In the last 5 years, I'm just checking out everything to make sure it looks right. Oh yeah, let me go get this. I'll show you what this is. This is our expansion joint. You got to have an expansion joint around the interior of this. We'll lay the slab will sit inside that expansion joint, so as the concrete moves a little bit, it'll tend to crack a little less. 22 homes from today, looking backwards about 5 years. This broader group of people that work together, architects, builders, investors, and people who just want great homes, we've done 22 homes. And I would say the notional value of those 22 homes has been about $116 million. That was pretty precise for about. All right, everything looks good. Now going forward, we have 21 that are in some stage of the sausage is being made, or the sausage is being thought about. And well, that's 21 coming. I think we'll deliver most of those in the next 36 to 42 months is what it looks like now. And that's good. And those homes have a notional value of well over $125 million. One of them is a beachfront that I think is going to be spectacular. Now, those 21, let's count them. I count this as one, although this isn't for sale. I guess I count this as one. Now I count 4 that we're doing in Old Seagrove, west of 395. A beachfront in Old Seagrove that we're working on now. That'll be about an $18 to $22 million home. We'll see. We have another one that's underway in Old Seagrove right now on the other side of 395 on Seagrove Village Boulevard Drive. Inquire if you want it, because of the 22 homes we did up until about 5 years ago, or from 5 years ago to now, 14 of them sold before they were finished. And the other 8, a couple of them are still for sale, and a couple of them were retained by owners because they wanted to live in them. And of those 14 that sold, 9 of them sold when they were dirt. 9 of them sold when they were dirt. That's how good these houses are that this team builds. No, there's an 8th one somewhere. Oh, there's one going near the bay in Point Washington right now. That's 8. So 8 are fully underway of those 21 in a meaningful way. The rest of them are, you know, designs are halfway done, or mostly done, or getting underway. Some of those are what we call covered land plays. Now, covered land play is where we buy a house and the house rents, and that rental covers whatever you think of as cost to carry. And when you read my article on Substack later today, October 31st, 2025, you'll understand how I feel about all of those kind of things, cost to carry and all of that. I have a very precise way of thinking about that that's, I think, grounded perfectly in economics rather than, you know, supposition and hope. And this covered land play is one that Gail and I did here. We bought this home for a dollar amount. We knew that home would rent for well more than whatever you might think of as cost to carry while we handle it, and got our design going. We lived at 35 Tupelo, which was the last home in Seaside that we built. We've sold that home subsequently. Well, anyway, this home then went off of the rental market about 3 months ago. And so now we're in the full build phase. And of course, my article, as I said, on Substack today will discuss my economics of what it is to build homes, the economics of it and the ego of it for those who like to use leverage, which I have no complaints about people who like to use a lot of financing, but it doesn't change the economics of the value of lots and land and homes that would otherwise be torn down. And that article will be a very important one today. But this is how the sausage is made. And you should follow along. It isn't that hard. We help people do this every day in all kinds of ways. And I hope you'll reach out if you've been thinking, I'd love to own a home on 30A, but man, it's going to be about 2 or 3 years before I get there. Start building it. Well, you know, I'd love to own a home down there, but eventually I'd just like to own it outright. I think I got enough money to maybe try and build one. And yeah, I guess I could use a little leverage, maybe, I don't know. Build one, sell it, earn the equity, do it again. And in a few years, you'll have a lot of equity. And I'm happy to tell you how much equity that Gail and I have generated. I guess me going back until 2010 when I first started doing this in some form or fashion. She started in 1996, 97, 98 as an original homeowner in Rosemary Beach and built some equity that way. She did a couple flips along the way too. I did a home on my own here and there, and then her and I met, and in 2015 we did our first home together. We called that AJ1. Each structure gets a name, Richard Jabbour, and this is structure number, I think, 8 and 9 this will be. AJ8, that'll be AJ9. AJ10 is coming, AJ11, AJ12. I hope that I live a good long life. I'm 62 years old. I had this premonition that I might make it to 102 years old as a reasonably ambulatory and reasonably healthy person, because Seaside's 40 years old, at least, a little bit more actually, and it got this far. It won't make it 40 more years without intervention. This is the kind of intervention that will occur in Seaside, and the economics of this are undeniable. My Substack article will mention that, or one subsequent to the one I'm releasing today, where I will do the case study on 35 Tupelo, because 35 Tupelo sets the new benchmark for the value of homes in Seaside. It just does. And it's undeniable. Economics is real. I hope you've enjoyed making the sausage. And speaking of making the sausage, be sure and check out our Instagram, because you know what we're going to be doing here in a minute? Something really funny. We'd like to go viral. We'd love to get 5,000 or 10,000 views on every single video we post. But it's more important that you know how we think, what we do for people, and how we can help you.